What is up, RotoGrinders? We're doing it live on a Tuesday night, 2 hours nonstop MLB DFS conversation. Kind of, sort of, somewhat a big boy slate. It's 10 games right there on the fringe as far as a big boy or not. 10 gamer. Just two teams that barely have a team total above 5. I guess the other one does too. Atlanta's got a team total at 6.5. Of course, they're in Coors tonight, taking on Herman Marquez. Myself, former $1 Million winner, Bobby Gomes. Bobby, how's Tuesday treating you? Everything all right?
It's going pretty good. We had a nice pre-show call. I think that's going to become the norm.
Yeah.
During MLB season. Yeah, it's going pretty good. Ready to play some Atlanta Braves tonight versus Herman Marquez.
Yeah. Well, you and everybody else.
Fine by me. Fine. If it's the right play, Dina, I can get different.
Yeah, this is one of those slates where I actually have a different take, and it's fun to have a different take, right? And as Dave Potts always kind of points out, like, you're probably going to lose anyway. Like, that's just the reality. You're probably going to lose on a given day. You're probably going to lose, so you might as well go down swinging. You might as well go down with something a little bit different sometimes. I'll share that. Of course, I put it in today's survey. But we'll see. I have a team. It's not fully off the reservation, but a little bit off the reservation. Does not have a team total above 5. We'll discuss it soon enough. Yeah. In our conversation, by the way, you actually gave me, it was funny. You suggested our idea for tiers today. Well, you said, here, let's do this. And I'm like, oh, okay, go ahead. It's all yours. You're like, I don't have an opinion on it. It's like, well, okay, so you gave me the idea.
Well, there was just too many movies that are good, and I couldn't differentiate between which ones I liked. And
you stuck me with it, but yeah, we'll talk about it later.
I can't think through all that stuff, Dean.
Fair enough. But I appreciate you participating, and we got the idea. We'll talk about it later on. But it was hard and it was easy because there's a whole bunch to pick from as far as putting in the top tier. And I left some good stuff out, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Do want to say what's up to the chat? Kindly hit that like button and subscribe and turn on those notifications. Don't go anywhere for the next 2 hours. We have Roth coming in about an hour and change for crunch time. Do want to go ahead and put his weather report out there. The diciest of stuff out there is all on different slates, different times. He's got Cincinnati straight orange if you care about that game. As far as our slate, the slate we're talking about, the main slate, that's starting at, is it 7:05? What time was our main slate start? 7 and change? Yeah, 7:05. The Royals taking on the Rays. It's green-yellow there. Nothing really alarming as of right now. If anything changes, of course, the weather is fluid. They'll be on top of it, green-yellow in Colorado. Wind is blowing out, ripping out, as Ross says, in New York for the Mets toward left field. Let's go ahead and drop this in chat for the people. Let's also drop the first clue for Television Tuesday. It's a Television Tuesday. The first clue in Television Tuesday is home. Home is the first clue. Go ahead and tell me in the Discord channel, rotogrinders.com/Discord live stream chat channel. Tell me what TV show I am talking about. There will be 5 clues dropped throughout the show. You can only guess one time per clue drop. No spamming, no MME in the live stream chat channel there in the Discord. First person to get it correct gets a week free of RotoGrinders Premium. That's the combo. It's all the sports, football, baseball, basketball, hockey, MMA, PGA, all the goods, all the bells, all the whistles, the optimizer, Dave's article, all the content, the expert survey, the rankings, the tags, everything. Too much to mention. But you get all that for a week free. Just tell me what TV show we're talking about. Fire away in the Discord. I see Dunk is saying it's a Modern Family. It is not. Golf Nut is saying it's the Waltons. It's not the Waltons. I'm sure, Bobby, you watch the Waltons, right?
I got an extra clue. It's a show that I do watch.
Oh, boy. Now you're sharing that with the people. So and now there's some game theory, right? People don't know what you like.
I don't know. I don't know what I like because I couldn't pick our tiers list. I couldn't pick favorites.
Yeah, I don't know. But Now you're going to skew the answers. And now all of a sudden people are guessing Brady Bunch, Married with Children, Top Chef, This Is Us. Do you watch any of those shows? The Brady Bunch, Married with Children, Top Chef, This Is Us, or House? Have you watched any of those shows?
What's This Is Us?
It was a family drama show that was on NBC. Never watched it. Just it was very popular for like 5 years or so.
I've
wrapped
heard
up
of
a
it.
couple years ago.
No, I don't watch any of those shows.
Yeah, King of Queens. I bet you've seen King of Queens before.
I like King of Queens a little bit.
Yeah. Yellowstone. I've not watched that, but I've heard that's fun. I've not seen it though. But guesses are firing in on the Discord. Full House. Did you watch Full House back in the day, or are you a Fuller House guy?
When I was a kid, I watched some John Stamos and Full House, and the other guy,
Dave Coulier.
Dave Coulier, yeah.
Bob Saget, yeah.
Bob Saget, fantastic comedian. You never know.
But
Jason
the thing
Derulo
about
was
Saget is like he was a super dirty comedian on like the most family friendly show. Like nobody knew. Like I didn't know. It was,
the irony.
Yeah, but he was really.
I didn't love Full House though. Like it wasn't like. I feel like more people liked Full House than I did.
Yeah, I mean when you're like
American
you
classic,
don't know
right?
what's good and bad. It was cheesy. I was waiting for somebody to guess The Sopranos based upon your clue, and it's not The Sopranos, but that
Why would it be that?
Because people assume you've seen The Sopranos before.
I've seen it, yes.
Maybe I'm just speaking for myself. I assume you've seen The Sopranos before, and I assumed correctly. All right, how are we feeling about the slate here? Again, not really loaded with offense. There's some clear and obvious teams. Like the most obvious one, of course, is Atlanta. I don't think we have a lineup just yet, unless it dropped as the show basically started. It did. Verdugo, Riley, Ozuna, Olsen, Albies, Murphy, Harris, White, Allen. I believe that's as is. Olsen has that consecutive games played streak. I think it's 400 or so, something like that. Maybe more now. He plays every single day. You can assume he's in there. But yeah, that is your Atlanta Braves lineup, taking on Aaron Marquez. Almost 6.5 as far as the total. It's chilly in Colorado, but the wind is blowing out for what it's worth. Give me the screenshot. We were talking pre-show as far as pitchers, just kind of like 5 pitchers in a similar bucket for me, and a little bit different as far as asking price. It's kind of whatever fits as far as your stacks. I'm curious how you're looking at how you're seeing the slates. You mentioned the Braves already. They're going to be the most popular team, I imagine. Just salary's a thing. It's kind of tricky to make stuff work. You can't have everything because you do live in the world with salary cap. Give me your overview. How do we see this slate before we fully dive in?
Yeah, a lot of Braves bats for me. I'm going to be pretty condensed relative to pitching as well. My favorite being Freddie Peralta versus the White Sox. And I think the cash game construction is probably Bryce Miller and Jacob deGrom. But deGrom's going to fall to third for me. I'll have Bryce Miller 2 in terms of my pitching rankings. deGrom 3, Logan Webb 4, Gusto 5, AJ Smith Scheuer 6. Those would be my 6 favorite pitchers that I'm targeting. Maybe Eduardo Rodriguez, 7th. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I'm throwing, looking at pitching currently. The Braves offense, I think, stands out a ton. The Dodgers, from an offensive perspective, Texas, Milwaukee, Tampa Bay, I like. The Mets with the wind, I think we really got to consider this wind game for the Mets and Arizona bats. Colorado versus Smith-Shawver. I don't mind a good bit. And the team you like, Dean, Seattle, those are going to be my top stacks that I'm looking at, or teams that I'm pulling the majority of my main stacks from. So, yeah, that's how I'm approaching the slate. And I'll have a Brave on every team, whether they're 5-mans or I'll have a Brave on every team.
Like a one-off?
Yeah, one-off. I would imagine like the 5 stacks are going to be really popular, but I think they should be. But definitely getting to a Brave on every team. With how the offense is set up. I think the guy I'm going to be underweight on, like the main piece of construction, is going to be deGrom. I think he's the guy that I'm going to be underweight on in construction. I think Bryce Miller is my favorite pitcher. Freddie Peralta is my favorite pitcher, but Bryce Miller is right there. And then I didn't think DeGrom, who's going to be like a staple in cash game lineups and a lot of single entry stuff, is going to be the guy I'm going to try to get away from.
Okay, so ownership-wise, DeGrom and Miller are basically neck and neck at 40%, 44%. DeGrom most popular. He still hasn't quite had that DeGrom game this season yet. The K rate is still down it's pretty significant for him, for a guy that used to strike out, 35% or so. And it's still good at 23.9%. But and also the swing and strike rate suggests that he's probably got some more in the tank there as far as Ks, 13.8%. Typically, if you have a 13.8% swing and strike rate, your Ks are going to be closer to 30% than 23, 24, typically. Biggest K rate on the slate is Webb. I think that's a little deceiving. I don't think he finishes the season at 30.8%. Also, swing and strike rate, if you use that as a measuring stick, 11.3%. So probably overshooting a little bit, and he had a couple spike games as well, and that just wasn't really who he was last year. Awesome pitcher. Ton of ground balls. And that's what it's been this year. Ground balls and Ks, just spectacular. I think he's going to maybe one homer the entire season. The ERA is under 2 if you care about such things. But, you mentioned Crochet, 29.7% as far as strikeouts at second. He's kind of in that same bucket of really, really good pitchers. Miller I wanted to talk about. Well, I guess let me ask you this. Why is DeGrom somebody you're not leaning in on? You think he's still kind of like – we think it's the guy from 2 years ago when he was a monster, and now he's 36 and he hasn't quite had the same exact stuff, and most people don't want to admit it. I think it's kind of built into the price.
It's the price, but it's also, I think, the Athletics somewhat profile well against him. Guys like Lawrence Butler, Soderstrom, Bleday, and they've been known to bust up pitchers. So it's not. I don't really love the matchup. I know the K from a K perspective, it's very high, but these guys are going to strike out at a pretty high clip. The majority of the Athletics, he would just be the shakiest piece, I think, from a tournament. If there's a guy who's chalk, I want to get away from. Looking at this Athletics lineup, it scares me a little bit. Whereas I like Bryce Miller versus the Angels. The Atlanta Braves bats, I think, are in a really good spot, and they're in Colorado, and their totals bumped up a good bit. So the shakiest piece of construction, I think, is DeGrom currently. So he's the guy I'm going to be under on.
I thought you were also considering the facing the same team you faced 5-6 days ago angle. DeGrom is facing the A's. He faced them the last time out. He wasn't terrible. He wasn't spectacular. But some people, and I don't know if there's data on this. I feel like we've asked Cardi about it, and I'm not sure if he had an answer. Second time around, you'd rather not see the same team, I guess. So
yeah.
I'm told.
So, and especially a dangerous lineup like this A's team. This A's team can be extremely dangerous from both sides of the plate. So for me, it's it makes me wary of DeGrom chalk. I'll say that.
There are a lot of Ks in this lineup, though. So I get why DeGrom is popping as well. 26.8% collectively. Only one hitter in the green. That's Urshela batting in the 8 hole. Probably only gets 2 at bats versus DeGrom. If he gets 3, that means DeGrom probably pitched really well. We know about Kurtz. He's supposed to be spectacular. He was awesome in the minors. They called him up, but thus far he's been overmatched in the majors. That's just the way it's been so far. 11 at bats, so granted stall, right? But 54% as far as the K rate. Of course, that should normalize in some way. But in Rooker, tons of power, but 30% as far as the strikeouts. So I get it. You mentioned Miller. We were talking about this one pre-show too, and I wrote about this in the survey as far as Miller. And his biggest issue, I think, is his walk rate, 12.8%. That's just unacceptable. But he's facing the Angels. The Angels, the current roster has the lowest walk rate versus righties, 5.4%. Additionally, against righties, 25th in OPS, 26th in WRC+, 27th in WOBA. Their ISO, I think, was somewhere in the middle or possibly higher. so they have some power there, obviously. But and a good ballpark to pitch in as well, obviously. And I think they have a decent chance to grab the W, or Miller does, because I'm hoping that Seattle team puts some runs on the board. He's going to be really popular, which is I don't like rostering pitchers that can't throw strikes sometimes that are going to be popular, but he's also getting a bit of a discount, and we need everything we can get as far as salary. He's 8.2 on DK. You mentioned him at 40%, Webb at 20%, Peralta at 20%. You got to spend a little bit more, but of course you get the benefit of taking on the horrendous White Sox. There's Pivetta as well, taking on San Fran at 18%. You mentioned Gusto at 10%. Crochet probably the most lost amongst the guys at the biggest ceiling, around 10%, because he's got the biggest salary and facing Toronto, a team that is pretty. I don't know if pesky is the right word, but they make a fair bit of contact. Discuss the next guys. I know you kind of laid out who's in your pool, but wait, are you at? Did you run down like your ownership stuff? Like, is that what you were running down when you ran out those 7 players?
Going to be Peralta versus the White Sox for me if I'm ranking them. Just White Sox K rates. I know they've been better this year, but I just prefer getting to Peralta. Bryce Miller would be 2. I'm not as worried about the walk stuff versus the Angels for all the reasons that you just gave. And the Angels lineup is really not something that I'm ever afraid to target. So Bryce Miller is good at 2. DeGrom would be 3 for me, where I think he's going to be 2 for a lot of people. Probably be under on DeGrom versus the Athletics. Logan Webb is 4. Yeah, the K rate's been up. He pitches in that ballpark that's fantastic in San Francisco, so I don't mind. They're in San Diego tonight, but still pitcher's ballpark there too. So fine with some Logan Webb. Ryan Gusto for Houston versus Detroit. That's more of like he's at 7,200. The only guys who I'm really afraid of in Detroit's lineup tonight is Carpenter and Riley Green. So
2 lefties,
and Green had 2 home runs last night. Carpenter had a good game last night. Yeah, those are the only 2 that I'm really worried about. And then Smith-Shawver versus Colorado. Just Colorado can strike out a good bit. I don't mind him. That would be like my main pitching pool. You can make a case for Crochet. Toronto doesn't strike out at all. They make a ton of contact. Like, I don't love it. Pivetta versus San Francisco. Like, I could easily see Adames and Chapman blowing up Pivetta. People are always like 9.5 for Pivetta. I know he has strikeout upside, but this Giants lineup's pretty good. So not something I'm really looking to target. Taj Bradley versus KC. KC doesn't strike out enough either, and Taj Bradley hasn't been as good this season. I guess he would be the one that I'd consider the most, but yeah, it's mainly pitching.
His walks, I like Bradley. I think Dave was writing about him too, and basically said the same thing. I throw strikes, man. He walks too many guys, and his KC team is really contact heavy. 18.5% collectively, only 1 guy in the red. That is Drew Waters. As far as the bats you're afraid of, it's Witt, Perez, and basically nobody else. Like, I guess Vinny P in theory. It's a tougher ballpark these days, of course, for Tampa. Steinbrenner Field, the duplicate of Yankee Stadium, and you add in the humidity as well. It's going to get trickier as the season progresses, as it gets hotter. He's on the fringe. He's on the fringe of my pool. You tend to make more lineups than me, so I probably won't get there. But I'm not going to yell at you if you're playing. I'm not going to yell at you anyway, no matter what. That's not going to happen. But I wouldn't frown upon. And then if you want to work in, I might yell at you about some the Smith-Shawver thing.
There's an umpire there in Coors, so maybe it isn't the best play. Colorado, like, what are their K rates like? What are we looking at for Colorado K rates in that starting lineup? I would imagine they're pretty high, but they're pretty much a minor.
They are, and it's front loaded too. A lot of the guys that strike out a lot are up top.
Doyle 32%, Beck 34%, Goodman 29%, Togley at 37%, Moniak 22%. Like, I don't hate Smith Shawver, especially if you like the Braves to win tonight. I think it's an interesting correlation. He's 7,500 on DK. So, any bout? Can I interest you in Bowden Francis?
No, I don't think so. Hey, give me the pitch, and maybe I'll change my mind.
He's got the EP.
Okay.
The Red Sox are going to struggle to score runs behind Crochet all year. I know they have a great lineup, but for whatever reason, it's just a Red Sox thing, being from Boston. They do not score runs when their ace is on the mound. Years and years of knowing this.
Do you think that's a thing?
I think it's a thing.
Wasn't it with the DeGrom many years ago? DeGrom and the Mets, the Mets wouldn't score for him. Like, collectively, they're like, yeah, screw this guy. He's our ace.
It's a thing. Ask Cardi. Cardi will say there's
no way in the world Cardi will say that's a thing. There's no chance he's going to justify that with a. He would be much kind. I was much kinder in my response to your bringing that up than he would be. He would have definitely yelled at you. Yeah. There's today's poll question if that's a thing or not. I don't think that's a thing. Other players that are being mentioned in chats. Webb. Yeah, we kind of focused on Webb. I like Webb. I'm not prioritizing it. If I had the money, sure. I'm probably first going to the Miller DeGrom stuff. If I have money, I'll grab Webb. But I don't think it's like a must. It's kind of where I'm at. I don't believe his K rate right now. I think it's somewhat fraudulent. Also, Luis Ariz is expected back today off the IL. He had the concussion. And, he's just annoying. I don't want to face Luis Ariz as if I have a pitcher. 2.5% Ks in 525 at bats, Bobby. That's ridiculous. What's that? Once every 40 times he's up? Is that? I don't know. I went to UCLA.
Pretty much.
It's not. My math is not good, but he doesn't strike out. Is the problem? Ks are king, and he'll ground out. He's not going to walk either. He doesn't take a walk. Neither does Tatis. Neither does Machado. Those guys' walk rates are pretty mediocre. So the ball will be put in play. But collectively, 16.5% is the K rate as far as San Diego. So it's just, and again, I just don't believe that Webb is all of a sudden a 30% strikeout guy. He's good. He's very, very good. And he can go 7 strong. And I'll have some if I have the money, but it's not necessarily a priority.
9,800 is very expensive for Webb.
Yeah, I mean, it is until he drops like the CGSO, we got Butto in the chat, and he's with you. He says a sneaky low-owned stack tonight is the Braves, just so you know. Yeah, so keep it between you, Butto, and the chat. Then nobody else knows that the Braves are super sneaky tonight. Okay, you're going to tell anybody, or circle of trust here, Bobby.
Circle of trust.
Derek is asking about Peterson.
I wouldn't pitch anyone in that weather, right?
That's where I'm at. Yeah.
Like that 20 miles an hour to right, I'm pretty positive or something.
So I was trying to get a sample on Weather Edge, and it's just a 4-game sample. So what do you do with that? But in a 4-game sample, for what it's worth, 45% boost in homers, 78% boost in runs. Again, grain of salt, but also it kind of plays out the way I sort of expect that to play out. 19 mile an hour as far as the wind at the left field. 73 is the temp and 49 is the dew. Yeah, I kind of like the over in that game. And I think the Mets are pretty. I know the Braves are sneaky according to Butto, but I think the Mets are kind of sort of somewhat legit sneaky on this slate. Although like Erod and Peterson have both been pretty good this year. Anything else as far as pitchers that we should point out?
No, I think we covered the majority of. Is there anything you would like to talk about, Dean, at pitcher? What are you seeing, Nothing?
I'm not just going to force a take or have a take just to give one out there, just have a take. My take is like basically anybody from the bucket of Peralta, Webb, DeGrom, Miller is fine. I'm good with any of those. I probably am not making enough lineups to get the Crochet. It's kind of I think Crochet is kind of the pivot off of Peralta or Webb. So I'm probably not going to get there. And I guess, again, we talked about Toronto being too contact heavy. I don't think I'm going to need somebody like Gusto. So I'm not going to talk about it. If you want to be super goofy, like the super goofy one is Sandy Alcantara. But like he's been bad and the Dodgers are good, but you're also getting a built-in discount at 7K. But again, he's been bad. But he's also been unlucky if you look at the advanced stuff. So I don't know what to do with Sandy Alcantara. The walks are also scary, 12% walks. But like he's better than a 7K pitcher. He just is, unless he's completely broken, and I don't believe that. They say like the last thing to come back when you're coming back from injury is control. So maybe that explains the 12% walks. Against almost any other team, I will take my shots, but I don't think I'm going to do that today. But that's like the, you want to tell yourself a story. It's possibly Sandy. And I'm not ready to do that. He's got an ERA at 6.5. Again, he hasn't been that terrible. But yeah, I got nothing else as far as pitchers. Unless you want to give us a power ranking one more time. I know Don Yeezy's asking in chat. Some people join us late. Give me a power ranking as far as the pitchers as I drop the second clue for today's Television Tuesday. Clue number 1 was home. Clue number 2 is stretch.
Peralta would be my 1. Bryce Miller 2. DeGrom 3. Logan Webb 4. Gusto 5. Smith Shawver 6. That would be my power ranking. And I don't hate Bowden Francis. I'll throw him in 7.
We got. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Continue.
I do have a take though.
Go ahead.
I'm going to be under on DeGrom.
Yeah. No, we're going to get the stacks in a second. You say you're going to be under on DeGrom. I'm curious if you're doubling down on it. In that, are you going to be playing some Oakland stacks as well, or it's just like a stay away and just fading DeGrom is good enough? That's enough to just, maybe he doesn't get fully shellacked, but just he's not usable and the A's aren't usable.
Yeah, it's more of just being under on DeGrom. Maybe a one-off from the A's like Butler or, I don't know, maybe a Soderstrom.
Just looking at some of the shows being thrown out there in chat, and people are having a good time there. It is not Home Improvement. Lassie, you're a big Lassie guy, I'm sure. House of the Dragon. I feel like you've watched that. I feel like we've discussed it at some point. I think you were a Game of Thrones.
I watched House of the Dragon. Yeah. I rewatched Game of Thrones recently.
Oh, and how was it?
It's terrible.
What?
The ending's awful. The ending is awful.
But like as an entire piece, though, I mean,
it's not great. It's not great. As an entire piece, it's fantastic.
Well,
first 3 seasons.
Okay.
3 to 5 seasons. And then, but it's just the last season is so bad you can't.
All right, fair enough.
I say it has no rewatch equity, but then I keep rewatching it, so I could be wrong.
I think people go overboard with it, but everybody has an opinion. You're entitled to it. I don't think it's as bad as people say, but maybe I'm
bad, Dean. There's no way that ending was.
It's not the best ending. They didn't stick the landing like Breaking Bad did.
I seen a cool thing on YouTube where they like redid it and Bran is like evil, and it like goes through like they did AI. They used AI to basically recreate it and how it should have been, and it's like they put Bran as king, but he's actually evil and the Night King, pretty much.
Eric, by the way, is asking about Noah Davis. He's asking if he's starting for the Dodgers. I don't know. I think it's Noah Davis. I think it's a bullpen game. Is kind of where I'm at. I don't. We don't have any clarity, right, as far as the Dodgers starter today. I think we have Matt Sauer currently, but I've seen Davis on DK as well. He was called up, I want to say, and he only threw a couple innings last time out. I think it's a bullpen game for LA.
They have like no pitchers left. Their whole rotation is pretty much.
I mean. Yeah, they need Dustin May to stay healthy, and he's got a history of not staying healthy, but they need him to stay healthy desperately, and continue pitching well as well. Okay, anybody get the Television Tuesday and 2 clues? I don't think anybody did. Just taking a peek. Hey Arnold, The Simpsons, Dexter, 6 Feet Under. That's the same lead, same actor. Eastbound and Down. They think you're a big fan of Hung. Remember Hung on HBO? I can see that.
What's Hung? What's that?
It's whatever you think it is. That's what it is. It was Thomas Jane. Yeah, it stuck around for a couple of years, but it was uneven. It was
I'm
uneven.
sure you've seen it.
I did watch it.
I haven't seen it.
That's a no. That's a no on Hung. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about today's tiers. Before we do that, do want to let the people know, again, you guys are playing for a week free of RG Premium. If you get today's Television Tuesday correct, you can just go ahead and buy it. Now, if you just like baseball, if all you want is baseball, it's going to cost you $425 for the annual. However, we added in the Combo Pro. We give you all the Combo Pro for free, a la carte, essentially. No, not a la carte. But we just combine it all together. It's the same exact price. And, if you're in the DFS for one sport, maybe you want to dabble in the other streets as well. That's football, baseball, basketball, hockey, PGA, MMA, everything with the exception of NASCAR. Same exact price. By choosing the 6-month option, committing for 6 months, instead of going month by month by month, you're getting 35% off. Go ahead and get the NBA projections, PGA data, all the articles, all the bells, all the whistles, the optimizers, lineup HQ, plate IQ, all the stuff we're referencing, all the stuff that the producer Steve is showing off on the screen. Check out the link in the description. Also want to shout out the props and pick'em package, which are knocking off 50% of your first month. Again, link in the description for that. Props and pick'em. We're talking about sites like Underdog, Prize Picks, or just if you're hitting your sportsbook up when it comes to, player props, over, under, things of that sort. Again, get those links in the description. So today our tier was you presented for us that we should rank DiCaprio movies, Leonardo DiCaprio movies. So let me know in the chat. The best and worst DiCaprio movie. I had a hard time finding the worst DiCaprio movie. There's really not a lot of bad ones that I've seen, at least. But I did get a doozy for the put in the dumpster, and we'll discuss. He was a child apparently when it came out. Doesn't look very good, and we'll discuss in a second. But Bobby, before you didn't commit, but now I'm going to put you on the spot. Your favorite? What's the first one that comes to mind? There's like 7 that are all acceptable answers. What's your number one?
Oh, I'd probably go Blood Diamond.
I don't know if that's one of the 7 that's acceptable. It's fine. That's fine. Okay. That's I don't know if anybody, but hey, to each his own. It's perfectly fine. Blood Diamonds, but I landed on
Departed one. Such a bad movie.
What? Well, for starters, you could have done the rankings and you could have put the bar at like 5 if you wanted to.
No, it's not bad. It's just another movie with a terrible ending.
Producer Steve, you mixed up the movies and the clues for today's Television Tuesday. The board is in shambles. Steve somehow combined the two, and oh boy, we got to take that off the screen. As if you're staring at the screen, you're getting all the clues right now. You're getting all the clues going forward potentially.
Yeah, with shock and reality.
Well, now you just read it to them to make it even easier for them to know what clues are coming for Television Tuesday. The game is in shambles. If I was playing Television Tuesday, I would be playing it under protest right now because, all right, we changed it on the fly. Shout out to Steve. Somebody may or may not have guessed our Television.
Richard Hant said Basketball Diaries in chat, and he is very correct. Very good movie, Basketball Diaries.
Yeah, it's fine. Well, I haven't seen it technically, but there's no way it's better than like The Departed or Django or Inception or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or Gangs of New York or Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, that's why Gangs of New York is one of my favorites. I watched that the other night.
The problem with Gangs of New York and saying it is a DiCaprio movie, it is the DiCaprio movie. He's not the best person in it. The best person in it is the Butcher. Is Daniel Day-Lewis. Right? Would you agree with that?
He actually lives in my neighborhood now, Daniel Day-Lewis.
Whoa, that is a humble brag.
I've seen him at the Butcher. Yeah.
You saw Daniel Day-Lewis at the Butcher?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's. I mean, did you like give like a wink? Like, I know this is
He was
why.
getting meat. He was getting meat.
Well, yeah, that's what else is. Unless you're killing his character that did some nefarious things as the butcher, but yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis as the butcher. I think it's his greatest role. I don't know. People would debate otherwise. Maybe. Oh, There'll Be Blood. Maybe. Daniel Plainview. Anyway,
I'd put Gangs in New York like very high on this list.
It's spectacular. I didn't want to put it in 3, but yeah, the list is Departed number 1. Second tier is Shutter Island.
TJ doesn't believe me. TJ doesn't believe me. Yeah.
It does seem like a wild story that you've seen Daniel Day-Lewis at the. I don't believe part about as that story. I don't believe you go to the butcher. You go to the butcher?
Yeah, we have a butcher in my neighborhood because I live in it's like we're one of the only. I didn't see him at the actual butcher in my neighborhood, but this like little mini mart, he was at the butcher. Yeah.
Now it's getting suspicious. You're changing your story.
I'm not changing my story, Dean.
So yeah, Shutter Island, spectacular movie. I love a slow burn. I love a good payoff at the end. There's legit a payoff there at the end. Titanic, it's one of the legacy movies, right? It's everybody's seen it, I presume, at this point. I haven't seen it in forever. It's good, right? But when was the last time you want to fire up Titanic? It's probably been a while. The problem with The Revenant, I put The Revenant, again, there's not a lot of bad movies to pick from. I put that in the 4th tier because, and I told you on the phone, I'm big on rewatchability. And The Revenant to me is one of those movies you see once and you only see once. It's a good movie. You enjoy it, but like nobody ever says, I got to rewatch The Revenant. It's fine. And the third one is the last one. The last one is a movie, admittedly, I've not seen. You probably haven't. Is anybody in the chat has seen this? Let me know. It's not Critters 1. It's not Critters 2. It's Critters 3. Critters 3, he was a child when he did this movie. And I'll read the synopsis for you. The tiny furball aliens that will eat anything or anyone set their sights at a Los Angeles apartment tower. 7 critics dared to review this movie, 0% in Rotten Tomatoes, 23% as far as the public. So apparently it's a disaster. I should have checked to see if there's a Critters 4. That was it. The series is over. Have you seen Critters 3, Bobby, with Daniel Day-Lewis at the butcher?
I haven't.
All right. So that is the board for today. Let's go ahead and throw some teams in some tiers. Right is the third clue right now on the scroll. The third clue for Television Tuesday. Right, home, stretch, and right. And if you were paying attention to the board earlier, you may have seen a couple other clues that may be coming up. They got swapped out pretty quickly, but I don't believe we have any winners just yet. Some love being shown for What's Eating Gilbert Grape and Wolf of Wall Street. Well, it's not on the board just because it's a 1, and there's plenty of 1, so no disrespect. It's not The Surreal Life or Bloodline or Growing Pains or Survivor. All right, let's do it. Let's throw some teams and some tiers, Bobby. First one we're going to talk about, it's Kansas City taking on the Rays. 8.5 is the total. Michael Lowenzen taking on Taj Bradley. Again, 8.5 is total. Tampa's a pretty decent sized favorite here, -162. I don't think we have anything goofy as far as these lineups. We are getting Chandler Simpson leading off, the speedster for Tampa. Lau's really cheap on FanDuel. It was like 2.7 over there. Shout out to TJ in that chat, by the way. TJ is coming on in about an hour or so. He is dropping his Spidey bombs. I see the first one just dropped. It is the Polar Bear, Pete Alonso. He's got it at +375. I presume it is his book up there in Canada, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada, if you want to get all specific and technical. But yeah, Bobby, Royals, Rays, what do you got for me?
Yeah, I think they're both fine in the middle. I would say I'd put Royals in the Revenant and Tampa Bay in the Titanic. Just going through some bats I like from Tampa. Favorite bat from Tampa, Jonathan Aranda. First base is loaded tonight, so I don't think he will be played much. Like him a good bit. Camaro's fine. Brandon Lau's been terrible, but you can get to him. Cameron Misner. I don't mind Chandler Simpson leading off.
I don't mind it. You can
They're
still
more-
throw bases.
They're more Tampa's more of a mini, and KC's more of a mini for me as well. Kansas City, Perez, Pasquantino, I think those guys are fine. Bobby Witt, obviously, but then no one else outside of that. Like it's a good hitting ballpark in Tampa, so I like Vinny P a little bit. He's also at the loaded position of first base. Yeah, just mainly minis of these teams for me. So yeah.
All right.
I would put KC back in Titanic.
All right. So both in the middle in Titanic. TJ really confirmed he's using scores and odds for the numbers he's getting. I went ahead and dropped Ross weather report. Looks like he did update it. Again, most of the stuff is earlier for Slate that we're not concerned with. Cincinnati, the big one, is currently orange. And I think I just saw a delay pop up on the Twitter for Minnesota and Cleveland. Am I making that up? I feel like I saw that. Again, not relevant to our conversation. I did get the Padres as well. Arise is officially back. Tatis, Arise, Machado, Sheets batting cleanup, Bogarts, Iglesias, Wade, Hayward, and Diaz. That's your Padres tonight.
Get excited about the end of that order. Oof.
Yeah. It's so bad. It's just horrendous. Every 50 likes, you're going to get another Spidey Bomb. So there is your encouragement to smash, hit, tap, use your adjective of your own choosing to turn the like on your Red Sox, taking on TJ's Blue Jays. 7.5 is the total. Bowden Francis is a home dog versus Garrett Crochet, the ace for Boston. I was told that Boston refuses to score runs with it. Duran wanted it a homer today. He was like, "Oh wait, who's pitching? Crochet? Screw that. I'm just gonna strike out."
You get the wrong guy. It's not going to be Duran. It'll be Wilyer Abreu who hits the home run.
I thought it was gonna be Devers. Devers has had the weirdest
Red
season
Sox,
because it's like he's been terrible and broken and like on fire and good all in a month. Yeah. Where do you have Boston and Toronto? What tier?
So I'm supposed to like the Red Sox a ton based on how I projected guys out, and I should put them in the Departed, but I'm going to put them in Shutter Island. I am worried. I think Bowden Francis pitches pretty well tonight. And yeah, there are obviously very strong Red Sox plays. Devers, Duran, Abreu being my favorite, Kristen Campbell, Bregman looks fantastic. But yeah, I am worried about this Red Sox stack, and I am worried that they're not going to put up runs for Crochet. So I don't know. I'll have 5 stacks of them just because it's telling me to do that, but I don't love them. And Wilyer Abreu is my favorite Red Sox, and I think he goes yard tonight.
Devers too cheap on FanDuel. Also, Vlad is 2.9 on FanDuel. Again, we always talk about FanDuel's really reactive as far as how well you're doing. What have you done for me lately? And if you haven't been spectacular, despite how big your name is, you get a bit of a price dip. Okay, the D-backs are in.
I didn't put Toronto in critters, Steve. Is Steve still there? Did we lose Steve?
Oh, I don't see either one actually on the board. I don't. Yeah, as far as Boston and Toronto.
Boston's in Shutter Island.
Okay, that's what I thought. And there we go. We got Toronto. So you have Toronto and critters? Yes?
Yeah, Toronto and critters.
Critters 3, I guess we should be specific.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't want to confuse it with the original critters, which everybody loved, of course. The Diamondbacks taking on the Mets, 8 total. Mets are a -142 favorite. David Peterson, Erod. We mentioned the wind blowing out pretty strong there. Of course, it's a pitcher's paradise mostly. And in a really, really small sample, Weather Edge likes it, but really I don't take too much from a 4-gamer outside of like Roth telling us that the winds are swirling out there to left field. By the way, Weather Edge really likes Philly and Washington. And I was going to bet that game over, not on our slates, just side note. It's just it's Wheeler versus Gore, and you got to hit the ball. But there's a chance that game could be really funky. And that they know it too. 8.5 total. You typically wouldn't get 8.5 for Wheeler and Gore, I don't think. I think it'd be lower than that. Just it's popping on Weather Edge. A little bit bigger of a sample size, 24 games. Still not what I want, sample size wise, but a little bit more work to work with. Where do you want to put the Metropolitans and the D-backs?
Yeah, we can definitely put the Mets in the Departed. Like everything about the Mets outside of Jose Azocar, who's batting ninth. I would say Lindor, Vientos, Pete Alonso is a fantastic play. The guy I think who gets lost in the shuffle is Juan Soto.
Yeah.
So wouldn't mind being over on Juan Soto and GBPs for what it's worth.
Left on left.
The Mets look great. Weather's great. Wind blowing out to, is it right or left? I think it's blowing out
left field. So righty power.
Righty power, yeah. So Alonso looks, that's what we're talking about. First base is just very, very strong tonight. So yeah, the Mets and the departed. And let's put Arizona. I'm not getting a ton of Arizona, but obviously with the weather, I think it's a really good set. I would still put Arizona in the middle. I like Grichuk versus the lefty. Gino Suarez, I think, is a really interesting play tonight at third base. Those are the two.
Did you play him on the 4-homer slate? I took that slate off. Did you play him that slate?
I think I played it. I had him, but I just haven't been able to land pitching.
Yeah.
I played him, but my pitching was bad. I'm pretty positive.
I think it's 17 guys that have 4 homers in a game. Is it the list I saw of 17 names? I feel like that's what it was.
He's super streaky too, and he's been on fire to start the year. So yeah.
He's now tied for the lead in homers in baseball with the big dumper, Kyle Raleigh. They both have 10. They are the 1-2, or I guess 1 and 1A as far as home runs. No Brewers lineup just yet. Why are there no Brewers lineups just yet? Or what? We just need one. Are they waiting on something? Are they just slow? Or did it just come out? Cardinals Reds postponed, by the way, if you care about such things. Yeah, okay. So we're waiting on the Brewers. The Brewers are one of the teams in the slate with a 5 total, just barely locked in for 9 against Tyler Gilbert. The presumed opener, the presumed longman is Wilson. And then Peralta on the other side. The White Sox have a team total below 3, which is, not good, because the White Sox are not good. Bad at hitting baseballs. Where do we have the Brewers and the White Sox?
Yeah, so Milwaukee, I do not hate Milwaukee. I like Peralta, and I just think the bats there are fine in general. Favorite Brewer would be Rhys Hoskins. Yelich and Churio are fine as well. I would put Milwaukee in Titanic and the White Sox in the Revenant.
Milwaukee, Titanic, the White Sox, first team in the Revenant tier. Well, I'm sorry, I missed. Is that like a leverage call? Why are the White Sox not in the gutter, hanging out with the critters? It's your board. Do what you want to do. That's their home though. They're used to being in the 5-hole.
I don't mind like Brooks Baldwin, Luis Robert, Benintendi. It's like one-offs or minis. I think the weather's all right there, blowing out to right.
It is a little chilly. It's in the 50s for what it's worth.
All right, if you want to, Dean, if you want to put them in the critters, put them in critters.
No. It's your board. It's your board, man. I was just curious why. Instinctually, I think people just throw the White Sox, and every once in a while they get there. You never really know when it's coming. Okay, 4th clue. Let's get the 4th clue for the people. We have no winner just yet for Television Tuesday. Home stretch right shock. Shock is the 4th clue. Home stretch. That's 2 different words. Home stretch right shock. Let me know the Discord. Get yourself a week free of RJ Premium. Tell me what TV show I'm talking about. 1 guess per clue drop. Fire away. 1 more coming. I got bonus clues if necessary. Athletics, Rangers, rematch of 6 days ago. Jacob Lopez taking on DeGrom. Rematch for DeGrom, not for Lopez. I don't think he pitched against Texas. We have a 5 total for the Rangers against Lopez. They had that funky lineup the other day. They're still kind of sort of shaking things up. Langford is leading off. Then Josh Smith left on left. Higashioka. They can't quite figure it out what they're doing. Dave wrote about this in his article about like how I think they've scored the fewest runs in baseball despite, not being the worst team. Just I guess they're not stringing together hits. and that's kind of random, I suppose. Heim's batting cleanup. You still have a cheap Marcus Semien, Young. Adalis Garcia is still buried in the 7-hole. Burger time in the 8-hole, and then Tavares is batting 9th. Where do you have the Athletics and the Rangers?
Yeah, so I'd put the Athletics in the Revenant and the Rangers in Shutter Island.
Rangers in which one? I'm sorry? Titanic. Is that what you said? Or Departed?
No, I have them in Shutter Island, Dean.
Rangers in Shutter Island?
I like the wrap.
I like it.
With the Dallas at 7, Burger there. Where's Higashioka batting tonight?
He's batting third.
He's batting third, yeah.
You like him more than Heim?
I think the ownership. So I think that's an interesting play in tournaments. You're paying $1,300 more for Heim. He's going to be significantly less low owned. I think Heim is an interesting pivot if instead of playing Higashioka. I would have exposure to both, but I like both. Where's Heim in the order?
Cleanup.
They're
going catcher, 3-4.
Yeah. I'm more like Garcia in the 7-hole, Burger 8, the wrap, and you could probably use Higashioka as a 3 in that wrap. You'd probably have to get who's leading off for them. Langford's leading off. So Langford's been red hot. So yeah. I mean, he kind of scuffled last year coming, starting at MLB. They started him really young, right? Was he 21, 22? He was really young when he joined the league and kind of figured it out down the stretch and brought that momentum to this season. Detroit and Houston, Reese Olson, Ryan Gusto. 8 total, kind of a coin toss. Houston, the slight favorite here. We talked earlier about the 2 lefties here for the Tigers, Green and Carpenter. Carpenter leading off. Torkelson's shown some power this year. If he can pull it, we know about those Crawford boxes down the left field line. Doesn't take a lot, but 315 and change. The wall's not that high to bang one out. The Astros, Jordan, he's just not been himself. But if you dig in the extracurriculars, under the hood, however you want to say it, he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be fine eventually. And I love his price on FanDuel. Even as a one-off, I'm fine with it. We know the deal with Houston. It's Jordan and a bunch of righties. How do you have the Astros and the Tigers? I would put the Tigers and the Revenant. I really like Carpenter. I like Green. Don't mind going back to them. And Critters, I would have Houston. I just can't play Houston. I played them on Sunday, and I got the Jordan home run versus the Royals. And then I was sweating Christian Walker versus Bubic, and then he just missed a home run and hit one yesterday, and I just don't want to even look at the Astros. So throw them in Critters.
Doesn't sound like you're tilting about that at all.
No, I was tilting about it. It was a 3-run home run. He missed it by a foot.
The worst. Yeah. I hate it. That's game of inches, game of feet sometimes.
And then he hit one yesterday, and he looked so lost at the plate on Sunday too. He struck out 3 times or 4 times or whatever it was outside.
He hasn't been good to start the season.
Yeah.
I think he'll figure it out. I think he'll be fine. He had a side. He was dealing with a body part in spring training. Maybe that's part of the reason. I don't know. Just sort of throwing it out there. I just was asked a technical question. That is yes. Okay. Well, let me just talk to Steve here for a second. Let me throw the next game to you. And producer Steve has a question for me. It's Coors. It's Aramon Marquez taking on the Atlanta Braves. The Atlanta Braves have a team total 6.5. 6.5. That's a big boy total. Of course, we know Coors. Hitters paradise. Verdugo, Riley, Ozuna, Olson, Albies, Murphy, Harris, White. Allen kind of falls off there in the end, but they're at least cheap ways to get a full stack, if nothing else. Talk to me about the Braves and the Rockies.
Yeah, Braves and the Departed. In baseball, I do not mind if a team is chalky. Everyone's going to play them different ways. Just going to try to make sure I have a Brave on every team tonight. Herman Marquez has been as bad as you could possibly be. Love Olson, Riley, Ozuna. I think these guys are great plays. White is my favorite cheapie by far. Sean Murphy is someone people might not play as much tonight in the Brave stack. So, yeah, really liking the Braves tonight. And the Rockies, I don't hate the Rockies either. Throw the Rockies in Titanic. It's in Colorado. We'll give them some a boost for that. I think the team total went up a little bit. Hunter Goodman, Brenton Doyle, McMahon, Beck. Those would be my favorite Rockies.
All right, moving on. Let's talk about San Diego. This might be the nothing to see here game. At least nobody's going to play players in this game, I don't think. Two pretty good pitchers, a good ballpark to throw baseballs. There are, of course, some a couple superstar type level players, but I think they're going to be mostly ignored. Pavetta at home taking on Webb. Webb is the Slate favorite. Again, 7 total. We mentioned earlier, Arise is back with all his ground balls. Contact, all his contact, kind of frustrating for Webb, but good to see him back. He had that concussion there, 7-day IL. Giants, Padres, where are we throwing them?
Yeah, I'm not stacking a team with a 3.2 team total, so you can throw the Padres in critters. San Fran, I think you could. I like Willie Adames, Chapman, guys like that, but I don't really want to play them. So the one-offs, you can put them in the Revenant.
We got a winner, by the way, for Television Tuesday. We'll drop the 5th clue as well for the people. If you just want to play out the string. The 5th clue was reality. Reality was the 5th clue, but we will shout out in the Discord channel Ramazan. Shout out to Ramazan, who got today's television show correct. All right, there you go. If you want to play along, I actually saw somebody answer it in the YouTube about 20 minutes ago or so, and of course those guesses are you're just getting in reps. They're not official. You got to jump into Discord to officially submit your guess. All right, and they're saying it is rigged in the Discord. It definitely is rigged. Absolutely, 100%. Two games left. We have the Angels and the Mariners. Kohanowitz taking on Bryce Miller. Seattle did lose Dylan Moore. Moore is not playing because he's in the IL. Looks like it's going to be Ben Williamson in his spot. J-Rod, Polanco, Big Dumper, Kyle Rowley, Rosarena, Rowley, Tellez, Crawford, Williamson, and the master of his own domain. We mentioned Kohanowitz earlier being one of the more vulnerable pitchers, at least from my perspective, in small sample. Just not too many bats that aren't missed. Just the lowest K rate on the slate. I was looking for a team to roster today, and that'd be a little bit different. And this is where I landed. I landed on the Mariners. I think it's sneaky if you want to use that term. I don't think they're going to get played basically at all, unless you need like the punts in Tellez and Rowley. Luke Raley, Cal Rowley, pretty good price on FanDuel, like 3.3. Very expensive on DK. I don't think he's going to get owned at all, and I like him a lot in tournaments. Where do you have the Angels and the Mariners?
I'm with you on the Mariners. I really like Raleigh, Polanco, J-Rod. Like, those are the guys that really stand out. I don't mind putting the Mariners in Shutter Island. I think they're, like you said, sneaky stack tonight, so fine with them. And then the Angels, oof, I just can't get to the Angels really ever. We'll put them in critters.
One more game to go. Crunch time coming in 5-10 minutes or so. You got Kevin Roth, Chief Meteorologist Kevin Roth on top of things weather-wise. You have one of the greatest DFS players in all of Saskatchewan, Canada. Of course, that's TJ Zwarych. And just one of the greatest DFS players, just period, the end, Dave Potts, Cheeseisgood, coming in, again, about 5-10 minutes or so. We will explain about people in the Discord want some explanations as far as today's Television Tuesday. We'll do that after we knock out this last game. We did just get the Fish. We got the Marlins. Nobody's sick. We get the Marlins. Their lineup just came out. Spoiler, not good. Edwards, Ramirez, Myers, let's see, Wagaman, Norby, Lopez, Sanchez, Simon, and Sanoa. They will be attempting to hit baseballs today versus, I think, is a bullpen game for LA. Well, actually, we officially have Dreyer. Somebody named Dreyer is the starting pitcher for the Dodgers. That's Dreyer. Is that a reliever? Is that somebody they call them I'm not aware of? Who's Dreyer? We will Google in a second. Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Teoscar, Smith, Muncy, Edman, Pajes, and Conforto in the 9-hole. That is your Dodgers. Where do we have Dodgers and Marlins on the board?
Yep, get the Dodgers right up there in Shutter Island.
You're not afraid of Sandy Alcantara? You think he's just not the guy he once was? You think the Dodgers are?
That's why I didn't put them in the Departed, was because of Sandy Alcantara. I still think that the Dodgers are fantastic on the slate, but Ohtani, Betts, all the guys from the Pajes, who's been, since I said he was terrible 2 weeks ago on my last time on the show, has been on fire. The back end of that order. Edman's back in the lineup after sitting last night. Really like the Dodgers. In the Marlins, Augustin Ramirez. What's his name? Martinez? Dean, you're the
Ramirez. Yeah, he's good. I think he's going to be good.
Good.
We'll see.
I think you're right about that. And then I don't mind like Wagman, and they're getting like this bullpen. Jesus Sanchez, I think, is fine. Mervis, but they're like one-offs or just salary fillers.
By the way, Dreyer is a relief pitcher. Last saw him throw baseballs a couple days ago. He threw it 2/3 of an inning on the 26th, an inning on the 23rd. So, yeah, it's just a bullpen game unless I don't know who the long man might be. You can kind of go through the bullpen, but I'm not playing Marlins really at all. Yeah, I'm not playing Marlins. So, and I don't like bullpen games anyway because you can kind of mix and match. And the Dodgers have one of the best bullpens in baseball, and the Marlins are one of the worst teams in baseball. So, and it's a 10-game slate. So, it's just, to me, a waste of time. I don't know. What's the point of trying to? It's going to be pretty good arms against a pretty terrible team, and that's that. And if
you could have said the same thing about the Marlins last night, and they put up 6 runs. So.
Well, they had a pinch hit grand slam. So what use is that for you?
Dane Meyer.
Yeah, Dane Meyer had a pinch hit grand slam. Brewers are out. Churio, Collins, Contreras, Yelich, Hoskins, Frelick, Durbin, Turang got buried in the 8-hole. I thought he was this is left on right, isn't it? I think it is. And Ortiz is batting 9th. I think Turang took a tumble as far as the projected lineup. I think Milwaukee's facing a righty, aren't they? Think so? Okay. So they're reacting to the opener. The lefty opener that is pushing Turang down to the 8th spot. Okay. I guess I kind of get that, I suppose. But and Collins jumps up to the 2 spots. All right. Any thoughts on that Milwaukee lineup? We will go ahead and knock out the board. Unless you got anything else before we knock out the board. You got to give me a couple homer calls, too. Think of a couple homer calls. I know we got TJ and Spidey coming in momentarily, so keep it that like button. You'll get more homers as well. Final thoughts before I do the recap as far as the board?
No, do the recap.
All right. So, by the way, I do see several people in chat are upset that the Revenant's in the 4 spot. Again, if that's your favorite movie for Leo DiCaprio, fine. It's not mine, and I also deducted it for being one of the least rewatchable. It's not the most rewatchable movie for me.
I rewatched it, though. Yeah,
but you've rewatched The Departed and the Shutter Island before, I think. Yeah. Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't. Revenant's it's fine. It's good, but compared to these other ones, it's just not as good. But fair enough. If you want to yell at me that the Revenant be in the 4 spot, what should be in the 4 spot? Because it's a lot of good
basketball diaries on this list.
Well, you could have made the list. You refused to. you said, nah, I don't want to make it. You just want to critique.
Diamond.
It is more fun to critique the list. I gotta admit.
The Departed's not the best. It's
one of the best.
Gangs of New York is great.
One of the best.
It's not even on the list.
Well, you can only put so many teams, so many names on the list. No Django. Sorry, Django. I love Django.
Someone said Wolf of Wall Street.
Great movie.
I think that was a play on words there.
Norman says The Revenant is garbage. There you go. All right. Here. Let me recap the board.
I actually think the Revenant's better the second time you watch it, Dean.
Just watch the one scene. You know the one scene, and it comes early. No spoilers. It's been 20 years. You should have seen it at this point. Departed is the Mets and the Braves. Second tier, Shutter Island. I won't spoil it, but it's worth sticking around for that one. Boston, Texas, Seattle, and the Dodgers. Titanic, the most popular tier is the Rays. Kansas City, the D-backs, Milwaukee, Detroit, Colorado. We have 4 teams in the Revenant. That's the White Sox, the Athletics, San Fran, and the Marlins. And hanging out with Critters 3, who raise your hand if you saw Critters 3 or any of the Critters. Toronto, Houston, San Diego, and the Angels. Okay, so here is. Do you know what the Television Tuesday is? Have you seen the answer, Bobby?
Television Tuesday?
Yeah, I've been talking about it the entire.
Seen the answer. Yeah.
So, the clues are home, stretch, right, shock, and reality. We had a winner in Discord, just kind of explaining it because people are wondering why.
These comments are awesome, by the way, in the chat.
I do appreciate. I encourage the participation.
I think someone actually thinks I live in this house behind me.
You don't? What do you mean? Why would you want to ruin that illusion? And never mind the fact that your head disappears. That's not a giveaway or anything. It's like that Back to the Future Polaroid. So home is in reference to what they do on some of these. I'm not that familiar with the show, but I'm familiar enough to speak about it. Apparently you watch it with according to producer Steve, at least. But home, they have these things called hometown dates. You wear hometown dates. Stretch is in reference to what you see in the first episode of the show is everybody arrives.
The beach is good. The beach should be on the list. I like the beach. My dad took me to see the beach when I was like 8.
Probably. I mean, who am I to tell people how to parent? But probably shouldn't see that at 8 years old.
Probably shouldn't have seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw it in the theaters, but I believe I was older than 8. Stretch.
Catch Me If You Can isn't on the list, Dean. Like,
what is
Catch
it?
Me If You Can might be DiCaprio's best movie.
It's spectacular. Yeah,
I think it's the best movie. You're just like The Departed. Like it's so generic. It's
Frank Abagnale. Yeah, I'm never I read the book guy because I don't read the book, but I did read that book. It is spectacular. Stretch is in reference to how everybody arrives. They arrive in a stretch limo, for this show. Somebody was asking in chat, what does right have to do with this TV show? Because when you're on this show, Bobby, you're on it for the right reasons. At least you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be on the show for the right reasons. Not everybody is, though. And that's kind of, are they here for the right reasons? That's
What's
like 30% of the show.
What is the show? Just give the show.
And every episode, if you stick with it, every episode is the most shocking episode yet, or the most shocking ceremony yet. Every one of those episodes. I don't know how they do it. They keep one-upping the previous episode. But every episode is more shocking than the last one. It's a reality show, too. There's a fantasy suite. There's petals. There's roses. There's love. And then there's divorce. You have no idea what I'm talking about? You actually
I'm not trying to guess. I'm not listening to you. I'm waiting for you to give the answer and call in crunch time. Can I give my home runs? This is a baseball show.
You could have said one of two shows. You could have either said The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. Either one of those would have worked.
Okay, that's the answer. I just, for me, like I don't really watch those shows, so it wasn't something that I watched.
Well, producer Steve thought you watched it for some reason. I don't know.
No, we watch. I thought MTV. What's that reality TV show that
Singled Out? That's many years ago. Oh, you're more of a Golden Bachelor guy?
No, it's not a. It's with Johnny Bananas. That one, CT.
Oh, I thought that was like The Challenge.
The Challenge, yeah, that's what I thought. And then you're all this other stuff.
By the way, just a heads up to TJ if he's still watching. I know he was lurking before, but you're not actually in the room to join the show. You were early, but producer Steve wants to throw you in a part of the Crunch Time crew momentarily. Give the people some homers. Who's going yard tonight, Bobby?
Wilyer Abreu, Aranda. We'll go Sean Murphy. And who else?
Give me one more.
Polanco for Seattle.
I like it. I like Polanco. I'll say Big Dumper, but that's the obvious, right?
Yeah, we're given it's typical of you.
Yeah, I want the.
I hate more than going with it. Everyone yeah.
All right, we're gonna go. Let's go ahead and bring in crunch time. You got plenty of time with the
league leader in home runs. You gave.
Well, yeah. Why don't I might as well pick Kevin Zwarych while we're at it too, right? Yeah. He's tied with. They each have 10 homers.
Crunch time. He would have been better than Cal Raleigh.
Say it again.
He would have been better than Raleigh.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't know who predicted 4 homers. That's a tough thing to predict. But if you had him that previous slate, you probably at least min cashed, if nothing else. Okay, let's do it. Let's find somebody that's going to get us a player that's going to have 4 homers tonight. Spidey will help us do it, as well as TJ and Dave and Roth. It's crunch time. Here they come right now. A couple things, Kevin. First of all, everything okay? Everything good? I saw you had a deal this morning. We're good. Awesome.
Yeah. Fam is good. Had a little minor surgery for my daughter, but she's good. Had a chill day, and I feel like the weather forecasts are going good today. So all is gravy.
And the second thing, and I buried this is more important than anything. I don't know the context, but you said in chat, Dean is right. Oh no, it's not the Panthers. I wasn't going to bring up the Panthers.
I thought you were coming to me with some Panthers bullshit.
That was amazing.
Like,
I've never seen it before in my life where 2 teams score 2 goals in 11 seconds apart. Like that's never happened before, has it? How could that have happened before?
I don't know. That's pretty wild.
I'm sure it's happened, Dean.
No, I don't think it has.
No one scored 2 goals. Oh, 2 goals or
each team scored 2 separate goals 11 seconds apart in the same game.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it doesn't happen.
Hey, your list was amazing, by the way. Don't listen to Bobby when he said, why don't you have these great movies? Because you can't have all the great movies because you can only have one in the tier 1 spot. And Leo's got so many good movies.
But The Departed isn't one, though. Can we just...
The Departed's amazing.
It's one of the 5 like you can pick.
Come on. It's great.
Yeah, it's one of the 5.
It was a good list, Dean.
But
and The Revenant also, man.
Stop sucking up, Roth. The Dean.
I give him a lot of shit. It's the Dean too.
So I don't know if you saw the part where Bobby said his favorite movie for Leo DiCaprio. If you were to guess 10 movies, you wouldn't have guessed this one. I promise you. Do you want to tell him, Bobby?
It's Catch Me If You Can. Oh, the
no, you changed your answer. You can't change your answer.
Diary. I love Basketball Diary.
You said Blood Diamond was your favorite.
Oh, Blood Diamond. Yeah, I like a lot of them.
That's not the best one.
It's good.
Blood Diamond's good.
Blood Diamond's good. I enjoy it.
It's fine, but it's not tier 1.
It's good. Gangs of New York's up there somewhere.
Oh, I love that movie. Yeah.
You know that Bobby
I watched it the other night. It is unbelievable. Such a good movie.
We found out, fun fact, apparently, allegedly, according to Bobby Gomes, he saw Daniel Day-Lewis, who played the butcher, in a butcher shop. This is what he says.
This is true. This is true. True story.
I don't
Bobby
believe
is a fake Bostonian. I guess.
No. TJ, Cheese, we doing all right? Everybody good?
Yeah. Let me point out one thing before you guys leave, because so many little moments that happen that are among my favorite moments of my life are just the little things that Bobby says that I don't even think he notices what he's saying. One of the greatest things that's ever happened on any of these shows is an hour in when you go, do you have any guesses for Television Tuesday? And he's like, what?
Yeah.
What's Television Tuesday?
I'm not. It's a
know
thing that I do not play these games because Dean's clues are terrible.
But we've been doing it the whole time, though. It's like you didn't know it existed. It's like, what is this television? Explain the rules.
It's so great. He's like, he didn't know it had been going on, which I mean, that's fantastic in every way.
Where have you been the whole show? You don't
Not
have to
paying
guess.
attention to the Television Tuesday clues.
That's fair. But you knew it existed at 5:05, right?
I forgot.
Could go either way. All right. TJ, welcome back. We haven't seen you in a bit. Are we back we're back home, right? Yes.
Back home until tomorrow. I fly to Toronto again, but it's just a 24-hour trip this time, and so I'll be back and quick. Won't miss any shows. But yeah, it was busy last week. Had a lot of fun. Not overly eventful at the expo. Didn't get any big interviews there, but had fun at the Andor red carpet in Toronto, and happy to be back home at least for a couple days.
You didn't
TJ, that
see Daniel
reminds
Day-Lewis?
me.
Didn't see Daniel Day-Lewis. Did see Stellan Skarsgård, but not Daniel Day-Lewis.
I'm going to a minor league baseball game in Birmingham this weekend, and it's Star Wars night. Am I supposed to wear something? Should I dress up? What I need some recommendations.
You give yourself like a nice little robe, pretend to be just like a comfy Jedi.
Comfy Jedi, I like it.
Comfy Jedi. You don't want to. Anytime you're going somewhere for a long period of time, you don't want to be anywhere that you're uncomfortable. So that would be probably my best bet.
Dean shook his head in agreement. He was
I
going as
agree with
Jabba
the
the
comfort
Hutt.
ball.
Dean was
Yeah.
going as Jabba the Hutt if he was gone.
Jabba the Hutt. How dare you? All right, Bobby, on that strong note, we're going to step aside and get out of here. Roth's going to give you his weather, anything lurking out there. You got Dave Potts, you got TJ, you got 45 minutes until lock. Here comes Roth right now.
Good stuff. As always, welcome to it, ladies and gents. You know the drill. It's crunch time, and it's two of the sharpest minds in the biz. My guy TJ in the house. Hammer said, TJ, who cut your hair? Stevie Wonder. I think it looks great. Man, you look sharp. How you doing?
Doing well, yeah. Happy to be back home. We got a couple Spidey bombs already scrolling at the bottom of the screen. We'll get another one at 100 likes, another one at 150. So keep hitting the like button. And other than that, yeah, no, not too much going on. I'm very excited. I'll say I can't talk about it publicly yet, but I'm very excited to tell everybody about the interview that I'm doing this week when I get back home.
Okay.
It's with me, but he's not supposed to.
It's with Cheese. Yeah, it's still embargoed, but we will soon learn. I just saw this comment from Derek who says, I love how the Nationals had a fireworks show scheduled for Bring Your Dog to the Park night. Why are the Nationals so bad at everything? They're bad at everything they do. We got Dave Potts, Cheese is good in the house as well. Cheese, what's up, man?
Oh, not too much. Fantastic slate. Bunch of everything. I like it.
Yeah, a bunch of hitting weather. I'll tell you that. All of the East Coast games are really just about all the games are great for hitting. The one spot with bad hitting weather is Coors, and it's Coors, so it's still great hitting because it's Coors. I think there's going to be a lot of bombs tonight, and we get to help you pick them out. That's what we do. I do want to give you a weather update. If you didn't see Cincinnati game, that's postponed. I realize some of these maybe don't matter what I'm about to tell you because they're not on the main slate. Cleveland game is in a late start. That's to avoid an in-game delay. I do expect they will play, but it's going to be a really long late start. It was either that or play and delay. Nobody wants to do that, so they're just late starting. Cincy game is postponed. In Pittsburgh, the storms just moved out, and now we're dry for like 3-4 hours, and then storms move back in. But they got hit with like 80-mile-per-hour winds. There's power outages in Pittsburgh. It rained really hard. So assuming the field and the stadium are okay, they'll play. But I don't know what the power situation there is at the stadium. So that's what I've got, and that's it. And then a low chance of a late start in a couple spots that we don't care about because the game's going to play anyways. That's it. Does that work for you, Cheese?
None of those games are on the slate, so it's fantastic.
That was a lot.
But I wanted to hear what you were going to say. I mean, somebody
really
somewhere is doing something in that game. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt so good about the forecasts. Like it all worked out so I wanted to at least get it out there, get credit.
The three bad weather games are all early before the slate. Okay. So you're good. But you get credit for getting them anyway.
Yeah, that's how I feel. If I get them right, I deserve the credit. Okay, well let's dive into what we do have on the slate, and that is we got to find some pitchers. I think Wheeler's on the slate, if I'm not mistaken.
Nope, he is also early. You really like this early slate.
I do. Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff on the early slate. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to shut my mouth, and you tell me who's on the slate. All right, let's start with pitchers. Cheese. What do you like?
That sounds fine. So, okay, pitching slate is great. I think what we're going to see is the spend ups, like the guys who are over 10K, which would be Garrett Crochet, Freddie Peralta, Logan Webb, right around 10K. I think those three guys come in way under Jacob deGrom and Bryce Miller, certainly on DraftKings because of the salary, which immediately makes it interesting that you can get certainly Garrett Crochet. Not a great matchup, but this will be, probably the lowest ownership you see him at for a while. Even Peralta against the White Sox, which is a great matchup, probably not that popular. Webb, who's been amazing this year, probably not that popular. But still, when you start building lineups with all the bats you want, to me, it makes perfect sense why DeGrom and Miller are probably the chalk, and I think it's pretty good chalk.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of those top guys, Peralta, Webb, Crochet, there's plenty of other things. One of them probably outscores DeGrom and Miller. Like, the ceiling is higher for those higher priced guys. But I don't think an extra 5-6 points at pitcher is what wins or loses this slate with all the bats we have. So I just like saving the money. And the pricing is just about the same on FanDuel. You've got essentially $1,000 discount to DeGrom and Miller. We're still very much guessing where DeGrom lands, but he's been very good. Like, even if he's not great still, he's still very good. Personally, I'm fully on board with him. You could also play like Nick Pivetta is another upside play that will get kind of like no ownership. He's playable. I don't really like Eduardo Rodriguez or Taj Bradley in these matchups, but they're certainly playable. I kind of like mid-tier-ish Reese Olson. I didn't end up playing any Bowden Francis, but he's fine. Ryan Gusto is fine. But essentially, I just think DeGrom and Miller are just too easy of a fit that I'm just playing them. And because there are so many options, even though I say they're the chalk, this is not like the night anyone's 70% owned.
Yeah. Can we play Mucho Gusto? Because I just want to play him simply because that's a great name.
Well, so I want to point out on FanDuel, he's $7,400 and all these other guys are like $9,000. You don't as much need the salary on FanDuel, but I do think he's definitely the cheap guy to consider on FanDuel. DraftKings, I slightly prefer Reese Olson. But yes, he's playable.
Okay. And then is there a big difference on FanDuel that you want to get into where you're like, or no, it's the same?
It's almost the exact same pricing with other than Gusto is the much cheaper one, but it's the same. Webb, Peralta, Crochet up here, and then a drop to DeGrom and Miller. So therefore I like DeGrom and Miller better.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. TJ, I want to get your thoughts. It seems like there's a lot of ways we can go in pitcher. You are always very good at getting different, getting creative. What do you like?
I'm going to be prioritizing the expensive ones tonight. And so I'm going to try and get over the field on the top tier of Logan Webb, Freddie Peralta, Garrett Crochet. I have about 20% Crochet right now, 28% Webb, 32% Peralta. So all three of those guys, I should have more than the field. And I'm getting to that because I'll be underweight in tournaments on Jacob deGrom and Bryce Miller. Now, I am still getting to a lot of deGrom. I have about 30%. He's one of my highest owned pitchers. But Bryce Miller is a guy that, because of this high projected ownership, I'm going X button today. I'm going X button for tournaments. And I'm not going to get to any of him at all and just say, hopefully he is not the one guy that breaks the slate today at pitching, and hopefully I can get somebody else a little bit ahead of him. So I do still have almost 30% Jacob deGrom, 30% Nick Pivetta, who I really like for tournaments today. And then just taking some shots on a couple of these cheaper guys, and I don't like any of them, but Taj Bradley, David Peterson are guys I have like in one or two lineups. And then Ryan Gusto, Reese Olson, Bowden Francis, and AJ Smith-Shawver I have in like 5 to 10%.
Yeah. Okay, good stuff. Anything that you want to specify over on FanDuel where you only get one pitcher, or with Cheese, like same general idea?
Same general idea. I'm going to try and prioritize the top end. It's easier to do so even on FanDuel because there's just so many great cheap batting options that are still really, really good. And so everybody's playing Bryce Miller, Jacob deGrom, both of them projecting for 20+% ownership. I would look to get under and try and get a little bit more Logan Webb, Garrett Crochet, Nick Pivetta, Freddie Peralta. I think my favorite for single entry today over there would be like a Freddie Peralta. But I don't think I'd mess around with any of the cheap options today on FanDuel. Like anybody below, I wouldn't try mess around with the Bowden Francises, the Gustos, the Smith-Shawvers, etc. Even though Gusto is pretty cheap over on FanDuel, I would stick exclusively with the expensive ones. Great highlight by Steve and great tournament by Maria. Question by Maria Donizzi. When I say tournament, do I mean single entry or MME? Both. referring to those in both of those today. So I would not be playing Bryce Miller in single entry for me. I'm not saying he's a bad play. That's just where I'm looking to get different today. And then I'm playing MME, I'm playing lots of lineups today, and I just hit the X button on them completely.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff, guys. Let's flip it and talk about the bats and the stacks, because I know there's wonderful hitting weather, and I assume there's some good hitting spots in general here, some good stacks. TJ, as you look at the stacks, you're already getting different in one spot with pitcher. What are you doing stack wise? What's the chalk, and what do you like?
Chalk-ish, I think, is going to be the Braves, but because of how many very expensive pitchers there are, and because they are also very expensive today, I don't know that they're going to be crazy high chalk. It's also a 10-game slate, so I don't think we're going to have to worry about it too much. There's not a single player in all of our projections right now that we're projecting to be higher than 20% owned. Not a single batter, that is. There is for pitcher, but not for bats. So I don't think we need to worry too much about the chalk of it all. Braves will probably be the highest owned team, but because of how expensive they are, it's not that crazy. My favorite for single entry and large field tournaments today is going to be the Mets. Wind blowing out, nice weather over there. Eduardo Rodriguez is very good, but the Mets are just so cheap, and this is an offense I can get exposure to while still paying up for the very expensive pitchers. So they're going to be my top option for similar reasons as are why I like Texas, super duper cheap, easy to get to. And then those would be probably the 3 to 4 teams I'd be like sticking to if I were looking at single entry stuff. But in larger field, I also want to get overweight on Milwaukee, really like them, on the Dodgers, on Arizona. And then I'm even playing like some Colorado, some Miami, some the White Sox, some Detroit, just because they're all cheap. And it allows me to do like a Crochet Peralta lineup, which feels crazy until you realize you can just stack one of these shitty teams and hope they go off.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. I'm seeing some people talk about Pittsburgh players. They're warming up. I did just see they plan on late starting, and they will begin at approximately 7:00. So in 30 minutes, Pittsburgh is expected to play. Yes, I realize it's not on the main slate, but some people do still care. Cheese, let's talk about your favorite bats, your favorite stacks. What are you doing?
It's pretty similar to what TJ said. Like, the Braves are just very obviously the best team, the most likely to score the most runs and the most DFS points. And yet on DK, they're so expensive. I don't know that it matters either for ownership or for needing to have them. It's different on FanDuel. They're way too cheap. I think they're definitely chalk on FanDuel, but I think they're not really chalk per se on DK. They're just one of the teams that everybody will have. I also like the Brewers. The Rangers are my favorite cheap team. I like the Dodgers a good bit. I like the Rockies a lot. I didn't get a lot of this Diamondbacks Mets game, but both sides have plenty of upside. A little bit of Red Sox interest, and then mostly mini stacks elsewhere.
Yeah, good stuff. Don says, which 2 pitchers can I play for DK large field? It seems like both of you think there's 6 or 7 that you could legitimately play in a large field GPP.
Yeah, there's so many. I mean,
yeah.
Just know, DeGrom, Miller is the chalk. So if you're playing them together, you don't want to probably do a Brave stack. Not that you can get the high-end Brave stack anyway, but just know that that's the chalk. If you do double spend ups, you're definitely different. Or if you don't play either of them, you're definitely different.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go around the horn. Let's start. I'm getting some questions about different stacks, different pitchers. Any interest in the Royals? Did anyone mention Royals?
I'm going to mention a couple individual players as a stack. Is just kind of, I mean, sure, they're on the board, but not especially.
Okay.
I'm playing 50 lineups, and I have 1 Royal stack.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Okay. We're getting a bunch of questions, and we could do that all day. And in fact, we will do that all the way up until lock, but let's go around the horn position by position. That will answer some of the questions, and then we'll loop back around and we'll talk about some of these individual pitchers and stacks. Why don't you start us off, Cheese, with a little catcher talk? Cal Raleigh.
Yeah. Catcher is pretty good. We do have Cal Raleigh against a low strikeout pitcher. William Contreras looks great. Sean Murphy looks great, although expensive. He's the most expensive. Hunter Goodman looks great. Both the Texas catchers look great and cheaper. You can play Francisco Alvarez if you want. For the most part, as much as I do like Murphy and Raleigh, like there's not a lot of spots I can spend $5K on a hitter, so I don't have much of them. I mostly have those Texas guys or Goodman or Contreras.
Yeah. Okay. TJ, before we get to catcher, I'm looking at your Spidey bombs. What is this, chalk Spidey bomb day? You got Big Beat Pete, Eugenio Suarez, Schwarbs. We need something sneaky, TJ. Fourth Spidey bomb, I want plus 500 odds or better.
I can do that.
Okay.
But also, Schwarber's not on the slate, so we don't got to worry about any chalk. He's on the early games.
Well, I just mean the odds. He's plus 300.
Yeah, but plus 375 for Pete Alonso is incredible. You can't not do that. And Suarez is plus 450. It's plus 450. Batting fifth.
He's leading the league in bombs. Yeah. All right.
He's got a better spot in the lineup, and the weather's blowing out, and we still got a plus 450 for him. And what if I told you that Suarez tonight in DFS is projecting for 2% ownership?
I'd play him. That's what I'd tell you.
There it is.
I'd play him. All right. Okay, TJ, your thoughts of catcher, please.
Fourth Spidey bomb at 150 likes. We are 27 away, but we got well over 600 people watching, so that should be nice and easy to do. So keep hitting the like button for us. I'm just going to not overthink it, and I'm going to play even though I don't care if he's not all that good, I'm going to play the $2,700 catcher who's batting third today, and so Higashioka is going to be my number one. Will Smith is probably going to be my second favorite just because he's only $3,900. And then Alvarez, number 3 at $3,300. Contreras, Goodman, even getting all the way up to Riley and Murphy. I'll do it if I can, but I just want to spend up for pitching so much tonight. I'm prioritizing saving salary at bats as much as I possibly can.
Sure. Okay. How about first base, TJ?
All right, let me get a little friend to help me because he's making a lot of noise at my feet. First base today, I'm getting to a lot of, no surprise, Pete Alonso. He is my second highest owned bat on the slate. Third is Dane Myers, which feels horrific. But like I said, I'm prioritizing saving salary today, and he's batting third. So Pete Alonso, highest owned first baseman. Next is Yandy Diaz, looking to save some salary. Rhys Hoskins, nice and cheap, saving some salary with him. Jake Berger, Vinny Pasquantino, Spencer Torkelson, the same thing. Top spend up, if I can afford it, is Matt Olson, and then number 2 would be Shohei Ohtani.
Okay.
After Pete Alonso, he's my number 1.
Gotcha.
Dane Myers isn't at first base, is he?
No, but I would just Pete Alonso's my second highest owned player.
I got you. I got you. That's where you threw me off.
Myers.
Second only Dane Myers.
Yeah.
I got you.
So
those are the two best power hitters in the league, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Myers and Alonso.
Pete Alonso, Dane Myers, Eugenio Suarez.
Okay. Geez, who am I if I say this? And lastly, Pete Alonso. Who am I?
I have no idea.
you need to, TJ, do you know who I am?
Cheese doesn't watch Grant's home run videos.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't. Does he do a new Pete Alonso thing?
Yeah. Oh, he does a whole,
because
he
of the
really
people.
like drops down like 2
Okay.
octaves and really growls it out. Yeah, it's a thing.
Gotcha.
All right. I just had to see if you were watching those. All right. First base, Cheese.
So like obviously Matt Olson.
Alonso.
But, we're gonna need to. I'll go watch it. I promise.
Yeah.
On FanDuel, you can play Matt Olson, and you probably should. On DK, Olson and Ohtani are appropriately expensive. Even Alonso, price right next to Olson. It's great if you can afford those guys. If you can't, I like Toglia and Hoskins in the mid tier, and I like Jake Berger way too much as a cheap guy.
Yeah. Okay. How about second base, Cheese?
Pretty similar, where it's goofy. It's not goofy, but like Ozzy Albies being 5,700 on DK versus only 33 on FanDuel. Like, play him on FanDuel and don't play him on DraftKings. Like, it's pretty easy. The other spend ups, the only guy I kind of like is Brandon Lau. He's more of a mid tier. And then the values are not great. It's just that the position kind of dries up. And on DraftKings, assuming you can't afford Albies, if you don't want to do Lau or like Edmund and Torres, these guys are fine. But so then you're looking at like the Kyle Farmers or Marcus Simeons. Like, I have a Michael Massey, even though I don't like him, it's just once you get below 3K, if you're not playing Simeon, you're either just playing random dude who happens to play for the Rockies, or maybe like Colt Keith or Michael Massey. Like, these aren't great plays. It's just, I think this is a spot to save salary other than kind of Brandon Lau.
Yeah.
Speaking of the turd bombs, just hit a leadoff home run from Trent Grisham.
Love to see it. Love to see it in the weather game, one of the weather games. TJ, what do you got for me at second base?
All right, second base today. My highest on guy is actually Acuna for the Mets, Luis Angel Acuna. So he's batting 6th today, a little bit higher in the order. We get the nice wind. He's nice and cheap, and so Acuna is number 1 for me. Marcus Semion's number 2, just because he's also really cheap. He has not been good this year at all, but I don't really care because he's cheap. Brandon Lau coming in 3rd, Tommy Edman 4, and then Albies is 5 alongside Bryce Terang, a guy I like for tournaments. But really, for me, this is just a position where I'm playing a ton of Acuna and Semien and Lau, and then anybody else is just only in stack.
Yeah. Okay. That brings us to third base. By the way, we just went back to back. Judge just hit a bomb immediately after Grisham. The weather. I mean, Judge is pretty good. It could just be that he's pretty good, but the weather didn't hurt. I'll tell you that. TJ, I think we were at third base. What do you like? Yeah. Cheese.
Oh, I was just to say, so like just because we're talking about wind and weather and TJ liking the Mets, your weather edge for that Mets game is only like a 4-game sample, but it seems to match up with what we'd expect for the weather. Like, do you think a 45% boost to homers is real, or do you think that's maybe a little inflated on small sample?
I don't think that's crazy. No, I don't think that's crazy at all. When it's warm and the winds are blowing out and you compare it to all other games at that place, no, I don't think that's insane at all.
Did Ben Rice just make it 3 in a row? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Heck yeah. So I was sad because I went with Ben Rice instead of Trent Grisham in my parlay of a bunch of home runs today. But now Benjamin Rice just hit one too, and then I have a parlay going with Grisham, Benjamin Rice, and Jazz Chisholm to all home runs. So as long as Jazz does, we got a nice little parlay going today.
When you know him as well as TJ knows him, you call him Benjamin. I like that.
Benjamin.
That's what that's
Benjamin.
right. I was reading it straight off of my bet flip, and that's what they have him listed as is Benjamin Rice.
TJ, what do you got for us? I think we're third still, maybe not.
Yeah, so I'm a lot more likely to pay up for Austin Riley at 3rd than I am for Ozzy Albies at 2nd. I do really like Riley today. He's my highest owned third baseman. After that, I'm getting to a ton of spend down. So Yandy Diaz, Jorge Polanco, and Mark Vientos is going to be my favorite of the group. He's my number, if I were playing single entry today, Vientos would probably be the guy I was going with there. Outside of that, Suarez, of course, I'm going to be way overweight on him. Spidey Bomb, but Riley, Diaz, Vientos, Polanco, Suarez, Devers are the only guys I have in double digits. Everybody else is only in stacks. I don't mind Junior Caminero either. He's nice and cheap.
Yeah. Okay. Cheese, your thoughts at third, please.
Yeah, Riley, I think, is one of the best Braves plays, and you don't at all have to just stack the Braves or not play them. Like, feel free to just play one or two of these guys, and Riley is up at the top of that list. I love Devers, kind of a whole pricing tier below Riley on DraftKings, and then a whole pricing tier below that is Ryan McMahon on the other side, or feel free to throw Suarez and Polanco in that mid tier. Even Matt Chapman is viable. But mostly after the expensive guys, I'm playing cheap Josh Young. And that's that.
Yeah. Okay. Then we get to go to shortstop.
It's interestingly not super great, even though we have Witt against Taj Bradley. I like him, kind of because how much I don't love the position. And this is one of those no one's going to play Bobby Witt kind of slates. So I'm always going to play Bobby Witt on a no one's going to play him slate. Mookie Betts, I prefer Witt. Just if I'm going to play a spend up to be different, I just prefer Witt. Lindor, if you're playing the Mets, you definitely want Lindor. You can play me if you're not playing the Mets. But again, I prefer Witt. Trevor Story's fine. Polanco is fine. The cheap stuff is barely fine, but I guess Joey Ortiz.
Is it Jazz who just hit the 5th home run? I just
No,
hit
it
home
was
run.
Belly. Bellinger.
Belly, damn you!
Yeah.
4
Sorry,
home
Cheese.
runs for the Yankees.
They,
Yeah.
they got their,
Sorry,
they brought the special bats back out today too.
Yeah.
So Joey Ortiz on DK is 2,400 on a team that should score some runs. So like he's a fine just punt just because you have to punt. Or Kyle Farmer is also shortstop eligible on DK.
Yeah. Okay. TJ, I think we're at shortstop.
All right, shortstop. The guy that I'm getting to the most of is Lindor, 16%. So this is going to be my most spread out position. Actually, I have nobody over 16%. Nick Allen, number 2, just getting to an absolute ton of Nick Allen and Eli White, the 2 super cheap options for Atlanta today. So love Nick Allen. Josh Smith for it's a weak shortstop position today. We do have Bobby Witt, we do have Mookie Betts, but neither of them are like in super great spots. So I'm getting to a little Smith, getting to some Jorge Polanco, getting some Trevor Story, and then I'm even full out punting sometimes with Brooks Baldwin or Joey Ortiz.
Yeah. Okay. That brings us to the outfield, TJ.
Dane Myers, the guy that I talked about earlier, is my highest owned bat today, which feels terrible, but he's $2,700 on DraftKings and he's batting 3rd. We're only 6 likes away from Spidey Bomb number 4, and that is my second highest owned outfielder today. So assuming we're gonna have 6 more people clicking that like button right now, come on, it's Jackson Chourio. Love him today for tournaments, getting to a lot of Jackson Chourio. Spidey Bomb number 4 plus 500. After that, a lot of salary saving options for me. I love the 2 Tigers guys, Kerry Carpenter and Riley Green. Carpenter is he is Spidey Bomb number 5, and I forgot he wasn't already on the list. And so Kerry Carpenter is another guy that I love today, as well as his teammate Riley Green. Starling Marte, a nice cheap salary saving option. Chandler Simpson, a nice cheap salary saving option that I'm getting to a lot today. Same with Andy Pajes, Tyrone Taylor, Taylor Ward, Eli White. And then I love getting to some Mike Trout for tournaments just because nobody is going to play a single Angel today.
Sure. Okay. Good stuff. Geez, your favorites in the outfield. I imagine there are a plenty to choose from.
There's plenty. Obviously, Ozuna is a great play, but not a must play. I also like Chourio a lot in that same price range. I like Jarren Duran a lot as well. I don't think Ohtani's going to be quite as popular as we're showing. And it's he won't be as low owned as Bobby Witt is. Same kind of idea, though. I do like spend up to be different with one-offs. I like the Rockies, so Doyle and Beck I like. Got a little Yordan Alvarez as a one-off. I agree with those Tigers lefties. Like, those guys are just good. Carpenter and Green, still underappreciated, but they're just good. With where TJ's playing Dane Myers, I'm playing Isaac Collins. Same idea, just a cheap outfielder. And that was before he got moved up in the lineup. You can do Grichuk in that price range as well. Adolis Garcia, I'm still rolling him out there. I like Wyatt Langford as well.
Yeah.
Jazz
by the way,
triple,
TJ,
everybody. That means I'm just a Jazz single away from it because it was plus 4.
I got some bad news for you.
Was it not Jazz?
It's Jazz, but they just put someone in for him.
No way.
Yeah, it looks like Oswaldo Peraza is in.
So we go home run, triple on the first 3 at bats for a 3-player parlay of 4+ total bases, and we are not going to get there because poor Jazz.
That's a tough beat.
That's betting, baby.
Oh God, that's why I can't do the betting. That's tough, man. All right, let's see. We went through the outfield. We need some home run calls. Can I pick people on the Yankees? Or
I was going to say who hasn't come up yet for the Yankees.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. Austin Wells. Austin Wells is my home run call.
Cheese, you got a few names for me? TJ, we already got 5 Spidey bombs from you. Cheese, you got a couple names for me?
Sure. Give me 5 more Spidey bombs and I'll give you 2 or 3. So we'll go high-end Shohei Ohtani, totally off the board. Mid-tier, we will do Rafael Devers and Cheap Jake Berger.
Yeah. Okay. TJ is just in pain.
Alonso, Suarez, Schwarber, Churio, and Carpenter.
Yeah, I think that is more than enough.
I'll throw in. I got
see.
more for you. I'll throw in Riley Green is going to hit one, and Mark Vientos is going to hit one.
Okay, good stuff, guys. We have oodles and oodles of time for some questions. So let's see what we've got. By the way, if you're watching this on the old YouTube, make sure you hit the thumbs up. This is good content. These are smart people. These are fun people. These are good people. They're worthy of that thumbs up button. They really are. I would send them a cupcake, and it's way easier to just hit the thumbs up. I don't know why I chose a cupcake, but yeah.
I prefer a cupcake, but do both.
Right.
Do both.
Either way, we want something from you, a cupcake or a thumbs up. Let's see. You know what I need to do? I need to make sure that I hit my reads. Otherwise, I get in trouble. MLB DFS annual option, 425 clams. But we dropped the price of our Combo Pro product to mirror the MLB annual package. So you get more stuff for the same price. Combo 6 months gives you full access to content, tools, projections for every sport except NASCAR at a cheaper price than the monthly package. You save 35%. That's a lot by doing the 6 month instead of month by month by month by month. You know what we've got. You know we're great. You know they're great. Just sign up for 6 months. Save 35%. I don't know why you wouldn't do that. Let's see. We got some questions coming in. Make sure you hit us with those thumbs ups. Pavetta or DeGrom? A question from Joseph. And TJ, I'll let you take that. Pavetta or DeGrom?
Just straight up, the answer is DeGrom. But if you're playing, I would say if your stack is, give me 1 second. Why can't I find team ownership here really quick? If your stack is Atlanta or Texas, then maybe I would be going Pavetta, or maybe Tampa. Then I would go Pavetta, but otherwise, like DeGrom is probably the correct answer.
Yeah. Okay. If it makes you feel better, TJ, multiple people in the chat complimenting your haircut. So
Thanks,
brutal beat, but people loving the hair.
Thanks, everybody. It's fine. You don't expect those type of things to hit. So it was like, it's a $5 parlay that would have paid out like 500. So it's like, it would have been really cool, but you don't expect that to hit.
Yeah.
It's also kind of worse though, if he gets a triple in the first inning and then the rest of the game, you sit there and watch him strike out 4 times.
That
would
be worse. That would be worse.
That's true. We're just going to assume he wasn't going to get
very much a possibility too.
Yeah. Let's see. Shortstop, Cheese, DK, 4K or less on DK. Short, 4K or less. GPP.
Yeah, it's ugly. And officially, I don't like a single one of them. I kind of would say you could take a shot on Willy Adames. I guess I'll say he's my favorite. But I'd be just as happy saving money if you could spend the money elsewhere, going to like Josh Smith or Joey Ortiz.
Okay. Our guy Butthole says, Cheese, grilled cheese or BLT? I do not like either of these sandwiches. I feel weird saying that.
I don't either. Yeah, I really don't.
TJ?
I would say BLT, but not a huge fan of either.
Yeah. TJ,
I don't like
grilled
tomatoes.
cheese.
I don't like tomatoes, so it'd be grilled cheese for me.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. If I'm eating a sandwich, there's other sandwiches I would rather have.
There's a lot of sandwiches out there.
Yeah. Right. Give me a banh mi. Let's see here. Who was the one outfielder, TJ, I must have in FanDuel Cash? Question from Jerry. Let me get into this.
I don't think there's one that you absolutely need. I would say between Verdugo, Ohtani, Harris, Ozuna, Churio, Alvarez, like that's the group you're looking at. Maybe some Langford or Carpenter, but I don't think anybody's like a must-have. Like I don't think there's one that's like if you don't have it, you're dumb type of situation.
Yeah,
I would say at least bare minimum one Atlanta outfielder, but you should probably have at least 2.
Yeah. And this maybe kind of ties in a little bit. Jorge says, I've got enough money, TJ, for 2 of these outfielders. What would your order be? This is DK Cash. Ozuna, Churio, Soto, Duran, and Wyatt. You can get 2 of them.
Ozuna for sure.
And then it's Churio, Soto, Duran, Wyatt.
I'd go Churio. It'd be Churio or Wyatt Langford, but I'd go Churio.
Yeah. Big Bino says, Cheese, man, what do y'all think about this Gusto MF without the Atlanta stack?
Like he's very playable. Like I'm not doing a lot with cheaper pitchers. And he's still quite a bit of an unknown. So like I don't love him, but he's absolutely playable, and he's definitely my favorite cheap pitcher on FanDuel. And I guess he's my favorite under 7,500 on DK too.
Yeah,
like him, don't love him.
Yeah. All right, we'll go to my guy Black. He says, Cheese, Reese Olson and Ozuna, or DeGrom and Harris, Atlanta version, FanDuel GPP.
Do the first one.
Okay. I have angered the people with my grilled cheese and BLT takes. I'm sorry. There's other sandwiches.
It's a weird thing to be upset about.
Yeah. Well,
you can like them.
Well, I think, yeah. Well, one person in particular was like, we were 100% on all of our food talks until this moment. So I've broken our bond, you know?
Wow.
We finally had a schism. Do I like a Monte Cristo? Not really. They're very heavy. They're very heavy, but they're tasty. What's the one stack to rule them all? Mr. Greg says. Cheese and TJ, I'm coming to you next. The one stack to rule them all.
Depends what rule them all means. The stack that wins a tournament is the Colorado Rockies. I wouldn't say they rule them all because other teams will outscore them, but with salary considered, that's what you need to win.
I love that. TJ?
New York Mets.
Okay. Jake says, Roth, name your top sandwich. It's a banh mi. And then I'll go with like a cheesesteak. Oh, Devin knows what's up. A banh mi, and then a cheesesteak. French dip. I mean, there's a lot of ways we can go that, like, pickles on grilled cheeses. Oh, what are we doing?
For me, it would be like a toasted bagel with some dill cream cheese on it, and then some turkey, some bacon, maybe a little lettuce, a little onion. That'd be where I'd go.
Okay. Cheese, favorite sandwich?
I don't know if I have a go-to. Like, there's so many that are all kind of even. Like, just now when you said French dip, I thought I would really like French dip. So I'm going to say that. I don't know if that's my favorite, but I want one now.
Yeah, they're yummy. Jorge said, oh, okay. He was just thanking you. He says, thanks, TJ. Very good. Scrolling down. DKGPP from Peter. TJ, tournament. Would you play Pavetta versus Webb in the same game and think this park is just helping both pitchers?
Absolutely.
Nice. Okay. Cheese, Burger Garcia and Josh Smith. Okay. Did you think that was a food question when I led with burger?
Yeah. I was like, yeah, burger's okay.
Yeah, burger works. Burger Garcia and Josh Smith. Okay. In a FanDuel double up.
I was going to say I love Texas. I don't think I love 3 Rangers in a cash game though. Because you don't really need it. I mean, it's okay, but I don't love it so much in cash.
Yeah. Okay. A
lot of sandwich chat and talk, and a lot of sandwich talk in chat, and I'm getting very hungry.
Yeah, I also I love a meatball hoagie. I freaking love a meatball hoagie. Chicken parm sandwich.
Chicken parm. I saw somebody in chat say chicken pesto too.
Yeah, sure.
The Schwarber, is it a bomb? Let's go.
Was there a Schwarbomb?
We got a Schwarbomb. Good start to the day.
The
Other than
homers
that
are
one
homers.
miss that we had, but Ben Rice and Kyle Schwarber were the first 2 on my card. So that means as long as we get Alonso, Churio, and Carpenter popping, it's going to be a good day either way.
We're turning it around, TJ. Let's see. Scrolling down. Oh, a Cuban sandwich. Judy says, I'm from Tampa. Cuban sandwich. It's a good one.
I'm going to say, not often I get to make a Spidey Bomb tweet while we're on the show.
Nice. Boy, we're mostly just talking about sandwiches. Here we go. K-Town's finest FanDuel single entry. TJ, I'm coming to you. Last spot in the outfield. Myers, Grichuk, or Simpson?
Simpson. Did we hit the favorite outfielder 2,800 or less on FanDuel?
No, I missed that. But did you hit the Simpson one yet? Did you
Yeah,
do the?
Simpson.
Okay. I'll give that one to Cheese. Cheese, favorite outfielder, 2,800 or less on FanDuel. Thank you, TJ, for making sure I didn't miss it.
So I really like Dallas Garcia. So that'll just be my answer.
Yeah. Okay. Allen's Club says Miller or DeGrom, Cheese, in a GPP on DK.
DeGrom.
Okay. Yep, that's me, says TJ. Out of, let's see, who doesn't make the cut? So I'm going to give you 5 names, and one of them doesn't make the cut on FanDuel single entry. Olsen, Albies, Riley, Verdugo, Ozuna.
I mean, Verdugo would probably be the first choice, I guess, but unless you need him to save salary, then it would be Albies.
Yeah. Okay.
Although he's cheaper on FanDuel, and that might have been a FanDuel question.
Okay. Yeah, let's get those likes up. By the way, we got Spidey. Good point. Thank you, producer Steve. We have Spidey Bomb smashing in show. We have weather that was talked about, weathering in show. And all that we want is that you hit that thumbs up. We should have roughly 10,000 at this point, and I think we only have like 200. And that's not very close to 10,000. Make sure you hit the thumbs up for us.
200 would be great. We don't even have 200.
It's a shame. It's a crime. Let's see. Cheese, Big Bino, or maybe it's Big Bino. I don't know. Big Bino, I think. 2 from Atlanta, 2 from Arizona, 4 from the Mets. How does that sound? I think I'm on to something. What do you think, Cheese?
Yeah, that sounds good. I don't think either Arizona or the Mets are chalky enough to matter, and then you got some cores in there. So yeah,
we think you're onto something as well. Peter says, Cheese, you said the Rockies could win a tournament. Rank some of your favorites. Fraley scratched last night. Rayleigh scratched tonight.
Oh, that's confusing.
Not Cal Raleigh, but Raley. Gotta be clear with that. Your favorite Rockies in a tournament?
Yeah,
Cheese?
there's 4 that I love. Those are the core 4: Doyle, Beck, Goodman, Toglia.
Yeah. Zakakao says TJ, a 4-3-1 Braves Mets with Higgy. You like that?
Absolutely. I think that might be kind of chalky. So make sure maybe those are the type of lineups where if you're choosing between like Pivetta or DeGrom, I would maybe go Pivetta in as opposed to DeGrom. But yes, I absolutely love those 2 stacks, and with Higashioka as a 1-off.
Yeah. Okay. TJ, right back to you. Joseph says, how about Crawford at short? I assume Cheese is locked in 5 minutes. Does that sound right to you?
It sounds about right.
Yeah, it
I
is.
don't know. Yeah.
I said it sounds about right. It's right. Exactly right.
Yeah, around there. All right.
I don't know what time it is right now.
Yeah. All right. We got 4 minutes. TJ, Crawford at short.
I don't have him at all. If you're playing a Mariner stack, sure, but the only Mariner I'm actually playing today is Polanco.
Okay. Cheese, Mr. Richard pointing out, we talked about all these sandwiches. We didn't even talk about barbecue, like a pulled pork sandwich.
See, I wasn't even thinking that because I don't count. It is a sandwich, but I don't think about it in those terms.
Same.
That would now become my number 1 sandwich. Yeah.
Yes.
Well said.
I think I'm with you. Also, I need an update on your ribs. Yeah, I saw a photo of what looked to be some amazing ribs on the way. How did they turn out?
They were so good. Yeah, I finished them off yesterday. I made 2 extra ribs. Tried a new dry rub. That was amazing. They were fantastic. It's so glorious.
And ribs really hold over well. Like they're great leftovers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm still about that. I Kill You says banh mi is the best sandwich. Yes. If you haven't had one, just find one. Go find a banh mi and eat it, and you will get it. Top 2 DK pitchers in single entry. Who wants that? Cheese, you want to do that? Top 2 DK pitchers single entry. There's not really.
I mean, we've already talked about it. If you don't mind chalk, it's DeGrom and Miller, but that's chalk. And if you don't want the chalk, you spend up to be different, in which case I would say Peralta and Webb.
I was going to say Peralta Webb or Peralta Pivetta.
Yeah. Okay. Keith says, TJ, can you play Sour? Sauer. Sauron.
If you do, I think it would leave you with a pretty sour taste in your mouth.
Hey, well done.
But in reality, no, you can't. Like, don't do it.
Butthole Jenkins says, TJ, your favorite 2 pitchers, assuming price is not an issue on DK. That's where you're kind of going.
Yeah, then in that case, it would be Crochet and Peralta.
Yeah. Good. We're less than 2 minutes until lock. Cheese, Smith or Edwards FanDuel cash question from Jerry.
I assume that means Josh Smith or Xavier Edwards. Smith.
Okay. Our guy Blink 182 says, Cheese, weird question on DK. Drew Waters, parentheses, he's been hot. It's a good Tampa field. Or Isaac Collins batting second as my punt in the outfield. Waters or Collins?
I prefer Collins.
Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 Yep.
We got PGA in just over 10 minutes, so make sure you tune into the PGA show if you're playing some PGA this week, everybody.
And you probably should be, because our PGA team at RotoGrinders is absolutely fire. They're really, really good. So make sure in roughly 10 minutes you stay tuned for that show as well. Hey, guess what? We did the things. We did all the things. We're less than a minute until lock. PGA show starts in almost 10 minutes exactly at this point, and we have answered all the questions. I think we talk dinner real quick and get out of here. Cheese, what do you got for dinner?
So spicy chicken sandwich, Chick-fil-A.
I love that. And is that Pete Alonso wearing Grant Neefer's nutted hat? Is that what I'm seeing? Yeah.
It would appear.
Yep.
That's it. Yep, that's what it is. TJ, what are your dinner plans?
Got to figure that out now.
Yeah.
It's only 5 o'clock here, so.
Yeah, you got a little time. I don't have any food in my house, and I don't have any plans. I don't know. Maybe Chick-fil-A. That sounds pretty good, Cheese. You may have inspired me. Benjamin Rice, 2 times. 2 bombs.
We don't care now. That's too many bases. It doesn't help.
That's true. Yeah, really. Yes. Nobody's betting you'd hit 2 of them. Spread them out a little bit, Ben. All right. Hey, we're going to bounce on out of here. So for TJ and for Cheese and for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes, guys, we appreciate you. We love it. And we will catch you tomorrow. You have been crushed.